Good day. Welcome to Alumni Corner. My name is Harvey Warrner. I'm host for the program today. I am the retired principal from Beech Grove High School, and this program is sponsored by the Beech Grove High School Alumni Association with about 12,000 members. It's my honor today to talk to the Alumnus of the Year for 2012, Mr. Mike Chapell, class of 1969.
A long time ago.
And Mike, welcome to the program.
My pleasure.
Hey, we've got a lot of things to talk about. I know you've led just a fantastic life that started in the city of Beech Grove a few years ago. But want to talk a little bit about your years at the high school, 66 to 69?
66 or 67 to 69. I graduated in 69, so yeah. We were one of the first groups in this building.
Well, tell me about some of your high school years, maybe some of the activities you're involved with, some of your memories. I know we talked about the building being a little bit different, and maybe a teacher or two that pops out to you.
Yeah, I was, again, I ended up being in the journalism business, newspaper, and I kind of got my start here where I got the interest. Mrs. Olson with the Beech Leaf and the yearbook, and we did a lot of work with that, and she gave us a lot of opportunity to kind of test what you wanted to do. What, do you think you want to write or whatever? And along the way, I was in sports. Not a great athlete, but I wrestled until I kept getting my brains beat in by Dale Alford, so I quit that. And then I went into baseball. I played baseball. I really thought I was a good baseball player. Don Chalice and Dave Van Horn, we thought we were pretty good. And then Ben Davis and North Central kept kicking our butts every year. So, but had a good time. And the two sort of came together, the journalism and the athletics, because I really enjoyed athletics, sports, and it was a chance to kind of put the two together. I could write about what I like to do, and throughout high school that's what I did. And then I went to Ball State and carried it further. But here at Beech Grove, it was just a chance to really see what you wanted to do. I thought I was in other classes. I was all right. I thought I was a math whiz, but I really enjoyed writing. And Mrs. Olson with the journalism classes and the Beech Leaf and all that, it really gave you a chance to see if that's what you wanted to do. And as it turned out, it was, and it just kind of took off from there.
Well, it's fun to sit here interview after interview and hear the names out of the past. Mr. Chalice, some other names that you mentioned. Probably you knew Mr. Thompson quite well if you were in the wrestling program.
It was Mr. Thompson and Mr. Bain was here. And again, those guys, I just kind of remember them, and I can remember being in the wrestling room, getting, sweating and getting beat up by guys, and I thought, this is crazy. At least in baseball, you don't get dragged around a mat and all this kind of stuff. But had a really good time with some of the coaches I dealt with.
Well, those are some of the icons of Beech Grove High School. Tell us a little bit about your post-secondary work then after you graduated from high school. Tell us about, you just touched on that briefly, but tell us about that. Went
to Ball State, again in Muncie, and I went there to be a math major because I thought after being at Beech Grove, I was always acing at Beech Grove math, and I thought I was a whiz. And I got to Ball State, and the first math course was calculus something or other, and I was lost. So I sort of migrated to the journalism area, and it just sort of took off again. I tried to extend my baseball career, such as it was, and I lasted to the last cut on the freshman team. And I was just fortunate to get into the school newspaper and journalism, and it just came natural. I really enjoyed having the chance to express myself, and at the same time, it was still connected to sports. So I was involved with sports from the outside, and it was really enjoyable because you see a lot of people, even today, you're doing things you don't like to do, but you're doing it because you have to do it. Well, I'm doing things that I like to do, and it just took off at Ball State, and it was just a great experience. You get a chance to cover. I covered volleyball, I covered basketball, baseball, football. The volleyball at Ball State is national level. And there were times I covered the NCAA finals in Los Angeles. I could remember being in Dick Clark's home. For some reason, when we went to Dick Clark's home when he was living out there, and great experience, had a chance to do a lot, and it just sort of took off from there.
Well, I tell you, I know you have had a rich career after graduation. I was a teacher here, an assistant principal here, and a principal here, and always enjoyed reading your articles in the newspaper, and then after I was kind of a fan, then I found out that you were a Grover. I didn't even know that, and I was just really impressed with some of the things that you've done there. So tell us, I mean, the kind of career you've had, the kinds of events, the kind of places you've got to travel to in your career. Tell us about some of those highlights, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I keep coming back to is so many people, they have jobs that they're jobs. They're just, you know, I get up in the morning, I do this because I have bills to pay. But I've been able to be in a profession that I really, really enjoy, sports, and at the higher level. I worked for 10 years at Anderson, at the Anderson Bulletin, and that was really a hotbed of basketball. We had 3 high schools that were really, really good, always state contenders, Mr. Basketballs. And then after that, in 1984, when the Colts came to Indianapolis, they set up their first training camp in Anderson. And it just so happened I was looking to relocate, and I hooked onto the Star, and I've been there ever since. And you just get a chance to do so much. It's just opened so many doors for me. I've covered World Series, NBA Finals. I went to the Los Angeles when the Pacers played the Lakers in the NBA Finals. They get beat in game, whatever it was, game 5 or game 6, and we walk outside and there's riots. I mean, there's helicopters overhead and all this. So, but it's really been great. And all along, my main beat or focus has been the Colts. Early years were not so good until you know, the mid-'90s when Jim Harbaugh came and Captain Comeback. And but in the last 12, 13, 14 years has really been, you know, football nirvana with Peyton Manning and Super Bowls. And so it's really been ideal. You know, again, I enjoy sports. I love sports, and this has given me a chance to meet players, meet teams, meet coaches, go to events that I never would have gone to. The Colts, with their schedule, I've been to Mexico City for preseason. I've been to Tokyo. My wife and I got to go to Tokyo, which I probably never would have done. So it's really opened a lot of doors.
Well, what a career and what a ride, and what kinds of experiences you've had, and that's just awesome to think about some of those kinds of things. You spoke of your wife, but maybe catch us up on some family information.
Married to Kathy. She was a 1969 grad. She was a cheerleader who knows so little about sports. I joke with her all the time about it. If I had $1 for every story she's read of mine, I'd probably have $1 in my pocket. But we have 5 kids. She had 2, John and Ashley. I had 3, Angie, Matthew, and Becky. Angie, my oldest daughter, passed away in 2007 from leukemia. 2 grandkids, 1 on the way. We still live in Beech Grove. We're both entrenched here. You know, I say we were born here, you'll die here. My mom still lives over at the same place on Fletcher Lane. So you know, this is home. And what's so cool about Beech Grove is it's such a small town, but you're 5 minutes away. As long as you get to I-65, you can get anywhere in 15 minutes. So it's been a very, very nice place. It's not grown much. The Grove hasn't grown much, but it's still, you know, it's just home.
Well, Mike, in the next weekend, I believe, is the graduation exercises for the class of 2012. And, you know, if we take 1969 and fast forward to 2012, what tidbits of advice would you have for those graduates as they walk out into this big world of ours, just as you did in 1969?
Just keep an open mind and your options open. Again, I said I go back to when I left here, I went to Ball State to be a math major. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't think I was going to teach. But I was going to. It was math. I think it was math and English, and then I ended up being in journalism. And it's just keep your options open. You may think, you know, when you're a senior, you think you know everything. And as I found out, the older you get, the more you know how much you didn't know back in the day. So keep your options open. That's, you know, if college is what you want, super, go for it. But keep your options open and your mind open about what you might want to do. And once you figure out what you want, go after it. Again, I got into journalism. Everything fell into place for me with my sports and Beech Grove and Ball State and the doors that opened. And again, you just never know where those doors may lead you as long as you keep your options open.
Well, Mike, I've looked forward to doing this interview, and I'm not disappointed after doing it. Just a rich variety of experiences you've had, and I tell you, you're in a select group because there's only less than 40 alumnus of the years of Beech Grove High School. So quite an honor. So Mike Chapell, class of 1969, is an alumnus of the year for the year 2012. Congratulations, sir.
My pleasure. I'm honored.
Good day. My name is Harvey Warrner. I'm retired principal from Beech Grove High School. I'd like to welcome you to Alumni Corner. Alumni Corner is sponsored by the over 12,000 graduates of Beech Grove High School during the last 80-some years. It's my pleasure and honor today to welcome the Teacher of the Year for 2012 from the Alumni Association, Mr. Gordon Fields.
Thanks.
Gordon, I tell you, you and I had some years together. You were at the middle school and I was at the high school as a teacher and assistant principal. I always had a lot of respect from you from the mile away that separated the two buildings, but just a richly deserved honor, and there's only about 40 Teachers of the Year out there from the Alumni Association, so you're in a very select group being in this particular group. Let's go back to the beginning of your career. Kind of tell me, how did you end up teaching it in the Beech Grove City Schools? What was that process like?
Well, I was a student at University of Indianapolis, which was Indiana Central at that time, and you know, for some reason I always knew what I wanted to be. There was never second guessing. I didn't change my major. I always wanted to be a teacher, and fortunately when I graduated there were several jobs available, and my first job was at Plainfield Community Schools, and it was a small community at that time, and I really enjoyed it, loved it. But I had bought a house on the south side of Indianapolis here, just outside of Beech Grove, and Plainfield was a little bit far to drive, so it was getting, so either I had to find another job closer or move to Plainfield. And I was looking at a house in Plainfield, and when a job at the middle school popped up, and I talked to them about it and decided that's what I wanted to do, and I haven't regretted a minute of it.
Well, that's great. Now, what year did you come to Beech Grove?
69-70 would have been my first year.
Okay, and tell me about your teaching areas.
I taught, at Plainfield, I taught science a year, and then I taught language arts the rest of the time. At Beech Grove, my first year I taught physical education and English, and then all PE for a while, and then went to language arts the last probably 20 years of my career.
Okay. And it was a homecoming for you because you graduated from Beech Grove High School.
I am a Beech Grove grad, and a lot of people have commented that you know, it's not always good to go back to your hometown, but I had no problems with it whatsoever and really enjoyed it.
And you're kind of looking forward to the alumni dance on the June 9th, because not only are you Teacher of the Year, but you're also celebrating your 50th class reunion?
You're right. This is our 50th, and really looking forward to it. I'll get to see some people I haven't seen, but we've been getting together fairly regularly as a group anyway, and a lot of us are still here on the south side, but this will be special. It'll be fun.
Well, I know as a veteran teacher, you know, you're asked to teach a lot of different things, a lot of different subjects, a lot of different grade levels, a lot of sometimes teaching some things you don't particularly, that wouldn't necessarily be your first choice, but it's part of what you need to do as a teacher. But what are some of the things that you really enjoyed teaching over the years?
Well, I enjoyed all of it. Science was probably the most challenging for me. I was a science major, or minor, excuse me, and that was the most challenging. But there's nothing that I didn't enjoy. And I taught grade levels. When I first came to Beech Grove, we had grades 7, 8, 9. And then they moved the 9th grade back to the high school, and then we were 7 and 8 for a while, and then they moved the 6th grade in, so we had 6th grade. So I taught 6, 7, 8, and 9 grades at some point.
What, over your career, can you think of maybe a situation or a class or just an epiphany moment where you really remember that happening and it really made your day or perhaps your year?
You know, I can't think of one particular thing. The thing that I really remember most was the camaraderie at the middle school, the closeness of the staff, and we're talking everything from the custodians on up. We just very close, and teaching at the middle school is a challenge at best, and the closeness I think really is what helped us.
Well, as a teacher at the high school, I can certainly validate that. I remember that the middle school had a very close-knit group, and you guys all really worked well together. I was surprised when we talked before we got on camera here. You've been retired for 10 years. That doesn't seem hardly possible. It's been 10 years. But tell me about some of the things you've done since your retirement.
Well, yeah, you're right. 10 years, it just goes in a flash. It really does. And people ask me all the time, what hobbies do you have? And I tell them I really don't have a hobby. I'm the world's greatest loafer. I do enjoy reading. I'm a reader. I also, most people on the South Side know that I work for the Pacers. Jeff Ott and I have swept the floor for Pacer games for 30 years. And this year it's been extra fun. But other than that, and being around my granddaughter, I only have one, and that's probably all I'm going to have. But she's quite a gal, and that's been fun.
Well, I think a lot of people recognize you during those timeouts on the TV where you come out and you do your job during the Pacer timeouts, and they've now put maybe a name with that face that they're familiar with for the Pacers. Any prognosis on the game tonight?
No, I think it's going to be a battle, though, no doubt.
You touched on your daughter and your granddaughter. Would you like to talk about them just a little bit?
Oh, sure. I have two beautiful daughters. One was a Southport High School graduate. That's Angela. She's in the insurance business. My younger one is Jennifer, who is a Beech Grove High School graduate. Played basketball, was first team All-County here in Beech Grove. And she's a teacher in the Center Grove Corporation. She teaches 5th grade. My granddaughter, and I'm so fortunate, she lives next door to me. So I get to see her every day, and she just turned 13, and she's 5'9" already. She's tall. She's played basketball, volleyball, ran track, and not a great athlete, but a great kid. She's darn near straight A student, and it's just been really fun.
You know, I was a teacher too, and sometimes we have that teacher curse, and well, that just happened to me because I remember Jennifer as an outstanding student here and just a great kid, but I remember her as a high school kid, and now you're telling me that she has a daughter that's 13 years old, and somehow all those people grew up, and you and I didn't get any older during all that process, it doesn't seem like.
Well, yeah, but you got them twisted around. Jennifer's not the one with the daughter. Excuse me, it's Angela, my older daughter, is the one. That has Bailey, the granddaughter. So
senior moment on my part.
Yeah, well, that's all right. You know, it's yeah, it does go fast though, just extremely fast.
All your years in education, and next Friday we're going to have 150 graduates of Beech Grove High School that will make it about 9,020 for the years that Beech Grove High School has been open. But what kind of advice or would you have for those graduates as they go out in this big and complicated world of ours?
Well, it's a lot tougher today. Like I said, when I graduated from college, there were several job opportunities, and I was fortunate to get one in a good school system, and then even more fortunate to move to Beech Grove. But I would say just work as hard as you can. Of course, that's a given. And a lot of times, though, people kind of make some bad decisions. So keep your head on and make good decisions.
Well, Gordon Fields, you are the alumnus of the Alumni Association 2012 Teacher of the Year, richly deserved honor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.